This is a concocted scheme.
When it comes to Ron Paul, pundits would readily compare the maverick congressman's presidential prospects with this tiny clump of Spanish moss clinging stubbornly to the sign near his home office. But ask anyone in Lake Jackson, there's a funny thing about this plant. Once it gets a foothold, it almost always grows.
They want the war over.
Fact is, if you click onto YouTube, the 71-year-old critics like to label eccentric has actually clocked 2.3 million views. That's 4 times as many as his closest Republican rival. This deluge of interest doesn't surprise those who've returned him to Congress 10 times.
The people nationwide can kind of get the same feeling that we've had here in Lake Jackson for years.
They're just very family-oriented. I think people are looking for that kind of value.
For years, Dr. Ron Paul was the only obstetrician in Brazoria County. So come election time, people here tell us it's pretty darn tough to vote against the guy that brought you or your children into the world. Having never voted for a tax hike, you will find few more fervent defenders of constitutional rights and limited government than the doctor. Pro-life, pro-gun, pro-local control of education, he would abolish the IRS, foreign aid, farm subsidies, and citizenship for American-born children of illegal immigrants. Opposed to gay marriage and capital punishment, Ron Paul broke ranks with President Bush and voted against the war in Iraq. So what's the attraction? Ron Paul's grandkids believe a growing number of Americans are finding his honesty and intellect refreshing.
He's been a lone voice, and people are now listening to him because, he's on a bigger stage and he's being heard.
He's not in it for the power, he's not in it for the fame. He's in it because he really believes in our country and believes in preserving our liberty.
He's not really trying to win your votes, he's just trying to tell you how things really are.
It's exciting getting on to the MySpace and seeing every day 50 pages of people to add, that are all supporting him.
In a few more months, it might not be a long shot anymore.
That's a bet few, even here, are unlikely to take. But that's not to say the seeds of a maverick's influence won't stick across the country. In Lake Jackson, Greg Groogan, Fox 26 News.